Feeling stuck, overwhelmed, or unfulfilled? The audiobook, Kaizen Mastery, Incremental Improvement for Personal Growth, reveals how small, daily improvements can lead to extraordinary life changes. Discover the secret of continuous progress without burnout, transform setbacks into opportunities, and achieve goals you once thought impossible. Don't let another day pass without harnessing the power of Kaizen. Your path to a fulfilled, successful life starts here, one small step at a time. Before we go on, I invite you to download the free bundle, which contains the ebook version of this book and an executive summary of all the chapters with the key takeaways. Studies show that engaging with content through multiple formats significantly enhances learning and retention. Click on the first link in the description to claim your free bundle now and maximize your learning potential. Now it's free, but it won't be for long, so make sure to grab it while you can. Chapter 1. The Kaizen Path. In the bustling streets of post-war Japan, a revolution was quietly taking shape. Not one of grand gestures or sweeping reforms, but a revolution of small, continuous improvements. This was the birth of Kaizen, a philosophy that would transform not just Japanese industry, but the very fabric of personal growth and development worldwide. Imagine a world where progress isn't measured in leaps and bounds, but in the steady accumulation of tiny, almost imperceptible changes. A world where the path to success isn't paved with Herculean efforts and dramatic transformations, but with consistent, manageable steps forward. This is the world of Kaizen, and it's a world that's accessible to each and every one of us. Kaizen, which translates to change for the better, or continuous improvement, emerged from the ashes of World War II as Japan sought to rebuild its economy. What began as a set of business practices soon revealed itself to be a powerful philosophy applicable to all aspects of life. At its core, Kaizen is about making small, incremental improvements consistently over time. It's the antithesis of the all-or-nothing mentality that often leads to burnout and failure. But why is Kaizen so uniquely suited for personal development? The answer lies in the way our brains are wired. Behavioral psychology tells us that our minds are naturally resistant to change. Big, sweeping alterations in our lives often trigger our internal alarm systems, causing stress and ultimately rejection of the new behavior. Kaizen, with its focus on small, manageable changes, bypasses this resistance. It allows us to improve without overwhelming our natural inclination to maintain the status quo. As you embark on this journey through Kaizen Mastery, you'll discover how to harness the power of incremental improvement in your own life. By the time you finish this book, you'll have a solid understanding of the core principles of Kaizen and how to apply them to your personal development journey. You'll learn to embrace small, incremental changes and consistently apply the Kaizen mindset to various aspects of your life. But this is just the beginning. The true power of Kaizen reveals itself over time. As you continue to practice these principles, you'll find yourself on a path of sustainable personal growth. The small changes you make will compound, leading to significant transformations in your life. You'll develop a mastery of continuous improvement, turning every challenge into an opportunity for growth and every setback into a stepping stone for progress. The journey of Kaizen involves several key steps, each building upon the last. We'll start by exploring the power of starting small, a concept that forms the foundation of the Kaizen philosophy. You'll learn why minor improvements often lead to major progress and how to overcome the mental resistance that often holds us back from making changes. From there, we'll delve into the importance of daily progress. Kaizen thrives on consistent, incremental action. You'll discover how embedding improvement into your daily routine can lead to automatic and self-sustaining growth. The compound effect of these small daily actions is nothing short of remarkable. As we progress, you'll learn about the crucial role of feedback loops in the Kaizen process. These loops of continuous self-assessment and adjustment are what transform guesswork into intentional progress. You'll gain the tools to measure and reflect on your progress, allowing you to make data-driven improvements in your personal development journey. Of course, no journey of growth is without its obstacles. That's why we'll explore strategies for breaking through barriers that may impede your progress. You'll learn how to identify mental blocks and external challenges and how to address them in manageable increments, turning setbacks into opportunities for growth. Sustainability is key in any long-term endeavor, and Kaizen is no exception. We'll discuss how to maintain long-term improvements without burning out. You'll discover the delicate balance between effort and rest, and how to embed lasting habits into your daily routine. As we near the end of our journey, we'll explore the concept of compounding growth. You'll see how small improvements can lead to exponential results over time, and how each small step builds upon the last to create long-term success. Finally, we'll look at how to fully integrate Kaizen as a mindset and lifestyle. You'll learn to view all aspects of life as opportunities for incremental improvement, transforming Kaizen from a set of practices into a lifelong pursuit of mastery. The steps outlined in this book are carefully chosen and ordered to provide a logical progression from understanding to application. We start with the foundational concepts of Kaizen, building your knowledge and confidence gradually. As you move through the book, you'll find each chapter builds upon the last, providing you with a comprehensive toolkit for personal growth and development. The importance of these steps lies in their ability to create lasting change. By focusing on manageable changes, we sidestep the pitfalls of overwhelm and burnout that often derail personal growth efforts. The logical progression from understanding to application ensures that you not only grasp the concepts intellectually, but also have the practical tools to implement them in your life. As you stand at the threshold of this journey, you might be wondering what lies ahead in the chapters to come. What secrets will Start Small unveil about the power of minor changes? How will daily progress transform your routine into a catalyst for growth? These questions and more await you as you delve deeper into the world of Kaizen. Remember, Kaizen is not about perfection or overnight success. It's about progress, however small, made consistently over time. As you turn the page to the next chapter, prepare yourself for a journey of discovery, growth, and transformation. The path of Kaizen awaits, promising a future of continuous improvement and unlimited potential. Before we continue, make sure to subscribe to Grow to the Top and activate notifications to receive more self-improvement tips that will supercharge your growth. And make sure to give this video a thumbs up and share it with your friends. It really helps the channel grow. Thank you for your support. Chapter 2, Start Small. Have you ever stood at the base of a mountain, gazing up at its towering peak, feeling both awe and intimidation? The journey to the summit seems impossibly long, fraught with challenges and potential setbacks. Many of us approach personal growth and improvement in much the same way, as a daunting, uphill battle that requires Herculean effort and unwavering willpower. But what if I told you there was another way, a path that doesn't demand giant leaps or radical transformations, but instead embraces the power of small, manageable steps? This is the essence of our second principle in the Kaizen journey: start small. The concept of starting small might seem counterintuitive at first. After all, we live in a world that often celebrates grand gestures and overnight successes. We're bombarded with stories of radical transformations and life-altering epiphanies. It's easy to fall into the trap of thinking that meaningful change requires equally dramatic action. However, the truth is far more nuanced and in many ways more empowering. The foundation of Kaizen rests on the understanding that significant progress often comes not from sweeping changes, but from a series of minor improvements compounded over time. Think about it for a moment. When was the last time you tried to make a major change in your life all at once? Perhaps you decided to completely overhaul your daily routine or master a new skill overnight. How did that work out? For most of us, such attempts often end in frustration and disappointment. The reason for this lies in the way our minds are wired. Our brains are naturally resistant to change. It's a survival mechanism deeply ingrained from our evolutionary past. Sudden dramatic shifts trigger our internal alarm systems, causing stress and, more often than not, a retreat to familiar patterns. This is where the power of starting small truly shines. By focusing on small, achievable changes, we can bypass this mental resistance. We're not setting off any alarms. We're simply making a tiny adjustment that our brains can easily accept and integrate. But why is this approach so important for continuous personal growth and improvement? The answer lies in two key factors: reduced fear and increased confidence. When we start small, we significantly reduce the fear and resistance associated with change. The stakes feel lower, the risk more manageable. We're not asking ourselves to leap off a cliff. We're just taking a small step forward. This reduction in fear allows us to move forward without the paralysis that often accompanies big, daunting goals. Moreover, starting small builds confidence through achievable goals. Each small success, no matter how minor it might seem, is a victory. These victories accumulate, boosting our self-belief and motivation. We begin to see ourselves as capable of change, of improvement. This growing confidence becomes a powerful fuel for further growth. But let's delve deeper into the power of small changes. Why exactly do minor improvements often lead to major progress? The answer lies in the compound effect, a principle we'll explore more fully in a later chapter. For now, consider this. Just as a small snowball rolling down a hill can gather more snow and momentum, becoming an unstoppable force, so too can small changes in our lives accumulate and lead to significant transformations. These small steps also help us overcome mental resistance in a way that big leaps simply can't. When we try to make massive changes all at once, our minds often rebel. We feel overwhelmed, stressed, and ultimately give up. But small steps? They slip under the radar of our mental resistance. Before we know it, we've made progress without triggering our internal alarms. So, how do we actually put this principle into practice? How do we take that first step on the path of Kaizen? It starts with identifying achievable starting points. This doesn't mean setting the bar so low that there's no challenge at all. Instead, it's about finding that sweet spot, a goal that stretches us slightly but doesn't overwhelm us. For instance, if your aim is to improve your productivity, don't start by trying to overhaul your entire work routine in one go. Instead, you might begin by committing to 5 minutes of focused work without distractions. It's a small step, but it's achievable and can be built upon over time. The key is to embrace incremental progress over big leaps. Celebrate these small victories. Recognize that each tiny step forward is moving you closer to your ultimate goal. It's not about the size of the step, but the direction in which you're moving. To help you put this into practice, consider the following exercise. Take a moment to list 3 small changes you could implement this week. These should be tiny adjustments to your daily routine or habits. Perhaps it's dedicating 2 minutes to meditation each morning, or replacing one negative thought with a positive one each day. The specifics aren't as important as ensuring they're small and achievable. Once you've identified these changes, commit to implementing them over the next week. But here's the crucial part. Each day, take a moment to reflect on the impact of these changes. How do they make you feel? What differences, if any, are you noticing? This daily reflection serves 2 purposes. First, it keeps you accountable to your commitments. Second, it helps you recognize and celebrate the small victories along the way. As you embark on this journey of starting small, it's natural to wonder about the potential outcomes. What can you realistically expect from this approach? While everyone's journey is unique, we can broadly categorize the possible outcomes into good, excellent, and best scenarios. In a good outcome, you'll likely experience increased motivation. As you successfully implement small changes and reflect on their impact, you'll find yourself more energized and eager to continue your journey of improvement. This boost in motivation can be a powerful force in maintaining your momentum. An excellent outcome might see you making noticeable progress towards your personal goals. These small changes, consistently applied over time, can lead to visible improvements in various aspects of your life. You might find yourself more productive, more mindful, or more aligned with your values. The best possible outcome? The establishment of a sustainable improvement habit. This is where the true magic of Kaizen unfolds. You're no longer just making isolated changes. You've developed a mindset and a routine of continuous improvement. This habit becomes a part of who you are, driving ongoing growth and development in all areas of your life. Of course, no journey is without its potential pitfalls. As you start small, you might encounter a couple of common challenges. One is the temptation to take on too many changes at once. In your enthusiasm, you might try to implement numerous small changes simultaneously. This can lead to overwhelm, defeating the purpose of starting small. The solution? Focus on one change at a time. Master it, make it a habit, then move on to the next. Another potential issue is a perceived lack of progress. Because we're dealing with small changes, the results might not be immediately apparent. This can lead to frustration and a desire to abandon the approach. The fix here is to reassess and adjust your goals. Are they truly small enough? Are you celebrating the tiny victories along the way? Remember, Kaizen is about progress, not perfection. As we conclude this chapter on starting small, take a moment to reflect on the power of incremental change. Consider how this approach might transform not just one aspect of your life, but your entire journey of personal growth. The path of Kaizen is not about dramatic transformations or overnight success. It's about consistent, manageable progress over time. As you move forward, you might be wondering how to maintain this momentum. How do you turn these small starts into lasting change? The answer lies in our next principle, a concept that will take your Kaizen journey to new heights. But for now, embrace the power of starting small. Take that first tiny step and watch as it opens up a world of possibilities. Chapter 3, Daily Progress. Have you ever watched a river carve its way through solid rock? It's a process that takes thousands of years, yet the result is undeniable: deep canyons and valleys shaped by the persistent flow of water. This natural wonder serves as a powerful metaphor for our next principle in the Kaizen journey: daily progress. Just as a river's constant motion gradually transforms the landscape, so too can our daily actions reshape the contours of our lives. But what exactly does daily progress mean in the context of personal growth and improvement? It's more than just doing something every day. It's about cultivating a mindset of continuous, incremental advancement. Think about the last time you tried to make a significant change in your life. Perhaps you set a New Year's resolution or embarked on a new project with great enthusiasm. How long did that initial burst of motivation last? For many of us, the answer is not long enough. We start strong, but our efforts often fizzle out as the days and weeks pass. This is where the power of daily progress comes into play. Instead of relying on sporadic bursts of effort, Kaizen encourages us to focus on consistent, everyday actions. It's about establishing a routine of progress, a steady rhythm of improvement that becomes as natural as breathing. But why is this approach so crucial for continuous personal growth and improvement? The answer lies in two key factors: the establishment of a progress routine and the ensuring of consistent momentum. When we commit to daily progress, we're not just working towards our goals, we're creating a habit of improvement. This routine becomes a cornerstone of our day, a non-negotiable part of our lives. Over time, it becomes easier to maintain this habit than to break it. We no longer have to rely solely on willpower or motivation. Our progress becomes ingrained in our daily rhythm. Moreover, daily progress ensures consistent momentum. Think of it like pushing a heavy boulder. Getting it moving initially requires a significant amount of effort, but once it's rolling, it takes far less energy to keep it in motion. The same principle applies to our personal growth journey. By making progress every day, we maintain our momentum, making it easier to continue moving forward. Now let's delve deeper into the compound effect of daily habits. This concept is at the heart of why small, consistent actions can drive such significant growth over time. Imagine you're saving money. If you put aside a large sum once a year, you'll see some growth. But what if instead, you saved a small amount every single day? Over time, thanks to compound interest, your savings would grow exponentially. The same principle applies to personal growth. Each small action we take compounds over time, building upon itself to create substantial change. It's not about making huge leaps forward, it's about taking small steps consistently. These steps might seem insignificant in isolation, but when strung together day after day, week after week, they create a powerful force of progress. This is where the power of habit formation comes into play. Our brains are wired to create habits, automatic behaviors that require little conscious thought. By harnessing this natural tendency, we can make our daily progress automatic. Instead of having to motivate ourselves each day to take action, our habits take over, driving our progress forward almost effortlessly. So, how do we go about integrating Kaizen into our daily routine? The key is to start small, remember our previous chapter, and build gradually. Begin by identifying one area of your life where you'd like to see improvement. It could be anything from enhancing your productivity to developing a new skill. Next, think about a small action you could take every day to move towards that goal. The emphasis here is on small. We're not looking for grand gestures or time-consuming tasks. Instead, focus on something so small and manageable that it feels almost impossible to skip. For instance, if your goal is to become more mindful, you might start with just 1 minute of meditation each day. If you want to improve your writing skills, commit to writing a single sentence every morning. The specific action isn't as important as its consistency. Once you've identified your daily action, the next step is to anchor it to an existing habit. This is a powerful technique in habit formation. By attaching your new action to something you already do consistently, you increase the likelihood of following through. For example, you might decide to do your 1 minute of meditation right after brushing your teeth in the morning. As you begin this practice of daily progress, it's crucial to track your efforts. This doesn't have to be elaborate. A simple check mark in a journal or on a calendar can suffice. The act of tracking serves two purposes. First, it provides a visual representation of your consistency, which can be incredibly motivating. Second, it allows you to reflect on your progress over time, helping you identify patterns and areas for adjustment. Speaking of reflection, this is an essential component of the daily progress approach. Take a few moments each day to consider the impact of your actions. How do you feel after completing your daily task? What changes, if any, are you noticing? This reflection helps reinforce the value of your efforts and can provide valuable insights for refining your approach. As you embark on this journey of daily progress, you might be wondering about the potential outcomes. While everyone's experience will be unique, we can broadly categorize the possible results into good, excellent, and best scenarios. In a good outcome, you'll likely see the development of new habits. The daily actions you've committed to will become ingrained in your routine, requiring less conscious effort over time. This in itself is a significant achievement, as it lays the foundation for further growth and improvement. An excellent outcome might involve increased efficiency in your daily tasks. As you consistently practice and refine your chosen actions, you'll likely find that you become more skilled and efficient. This improved performance can spill over into other areas of your life, enhancing your overall productivity and effectiveness. The best possible outcome? Significant personal growth over time. This is where the true magic of daily progress reveals itself. Those small, consistent actions, compounded over weeks, months, and years, can lead to profound transformations. You might find yourself achieving goals you once thought impossible, developing skills you never imagined you could possess, or experiencing a level of personal growth that surpasses your expectations. Of course, no journey is without its potential pitfalls. As you pursue daily progress, you might encounter a couple of common challenges. One is inconsistency. Despite our best intentions, life can sometimes get in the way of our daily practice. The solution? Set reminders and enlist accountability partners. Use technology to your advantage by setting daily alerts on your phone. Share your goals with a friend or family member who can check in on your progress and offer encouragement. Another potential issue is stagnation. After a while, you might feel like you're going through the motions without seeing any real progress. This is where the importance of reevaluation comes in. Regularly assess your habits and their impact. Are they still challenging you? Are they still aligned with your goals? Don't be afraid to adjust and evolve your daily actions as needed to ensure continued growth. As we conclude this chapter on daily progress, take a moment to reflect on the power of consistent, incremental action. Consider how this approach might transform not just one aspect of your life, but your entire journey of personal growth. The path of Kaizen is not about dramatic transformations or overnight success. It's about the steady, relentless flow of daily progress, gradually shaping the landscape of your life. As you move forward, you might be wondering how to gauge the effectiveness of your daily efforts. How can you be sure you're moving in the right direction? The answer lies in our next principle, a concept that will add a new dimension to your Kaizen journey. But for now, embrace the power of daily progress. Take that small step today and every day and watch as it opens up a world of possibilities. Chapter 4, Feedback Loops. Imagine you're navigating a ship across a vast ocean. You have a destination in mind, but how do you know if you're on the right course? How can you be sure you're not drifting off path, or worse, heading in the completely wrong direction? This is where the power of our next Kaizen principle comes into play, feedback loops. But what exactly are feedback loops, and why are they so crucial to our journey of personal growth and improvement? At its core, a feedback loop is a system where the output of a process becomes an input for future actions. It's a cycle of action, evaluation, and adjustment that allows for continuous refinement and progress. Think about it this way. Every action we take produces a result. That result provides information, feedback, about the effectiveness of our action. By paying attention to this feedback and using it to inform our next steps, we create a loop that continuously guides us towards our goals. In the context of personal development, feedback loops are the compass that keeps us on course. They provide us with the data we need to make informed decisions about our growth journey. Without them, we're essentially sailing blind, hoping that our actions are moving us in the right direction, but never really knowing for sure. This is why feedback loops are so important for continuous personal growth and improvement. They provide clarity on our progress, allowing us to see where we're succeeding and where we might need to make adjustments. This clarity is invaluable. It prevents us from wasting time and energy on ineffective strategies and helps us focus our efforts where they'll have the most impact. Moreover, feedback loops enable informed decision-making. Instead of relying on guesswork or gut feelings, we can base our choices on concrete data and observations. This transforms our growth journey from a series of random attempts into a structured, intentional process of improvement. But how do we actually implement these feedback loops in our personal development journey? The key lies in self-assessment. This isn't about harsh self-criticism or unrealistic expectations. Instead, it's about objectively observing our actions and their results and using that information to guide our path forward. Self-assessment involves both data collection and reflection. The data part might involve tracking specific metrics related to your goals. For instance, if you're working on improving your productivity, you might track the number of tasks you complete each day. If you're developing a new skill, you might log the amount of time you spend practicing. But numbers alone don't tell the whole story. That's where reflection comes in. Take time to consider how you feel about your progress. Are you noticing any changes in your abilities or mindset? What challenges are you encountering? What unexpected benefits are you experiencing? This qualitative data is just as important as the quantitative metrics you're tracking. By combining data and reflection, we move from guesswork to intentional action. Instead of blindly following a predetermined path, we can adjust our course based on real-world feedback. This allows us to optimize our efforts, focusing on what's working and modifying or abandoning what isn't. Of course, collecting feedback is only half the battle. The real power of feedback loops comes from how we use that information to adjust our approach. This is where many people stumble. They gather data but fail to act on it, essentially rendering the feedback loop incomplete and ineffective. To truly harness the power of feedback loops, we need to embrace a cycle of continuous improvement. This means regularly interpreting the feedback we receive and using it to refine our methods. It's about being flexible and willing to change course when the data suggests it's necessary. For example, let's say you've been tracking your daily progress on a new skill and you notice that your improvement has plateaued. This feedback suggests that your current approach might no longer be effective. Instead of getting discouraged, you can use this information to adjust your strategy. Perhaps you need to increase the challenge level, or maybe you need to approach the skill from a different angle. This process of continual adjustment based on feedback is at the heart of the Kaizen philosophy. It's not about making dramatic changes, but about small, incremental tweaks that gradually optimize your approach over time. To put this principle into practice, consider setting up a weekly review session. This dedicated time allows you to step back from your daily efforts and look at the bigger picture. Review your tracked data, reflect on your experiences, and consider what adjustments you might need to make in the coming week. Additionally, consider keeping a feedback journal. This can be a simple notebook or digital document where you jot down insights as they occur to you. Did you have a particularly productive day? Make a note of what you did differently. Struggling with a specific aspect of your goal? Write about it. These real-time observations can provide valuable context when you're reviewing your progress. As you implement these feedback loops in your personal growth journey, you might wonder about the potential outcomes. While everyone's experience will be unique, we can broadly categorize the possible results into good, excellent, and best scenarios. In a good outcome, you'll likely experience increased awareness of your progress. This alone is a significant benefit. Many people work towards their goals without really knowing if they're making headway. With feedback loops in place, you'll have a clear picture of where you stand and how far you've come. An excellent outcome might involve an enhanced ability to adapt your strategies. As you become more adept at interpreting and acting on feedback, you'll be able to fine-tune your approach more effectively. This adaptability is a valuable skill in itself, applicable far beyond your current goals. The best possible outcome? Mastery of self-improvement techniques. When you've fully integrated feedback loops into your personal development process, you'll have a powerful tool for continuous growth. You'll be able to tackle new challenges with confidence, knowing that you have a system in place to guide your efforts and optimize your results. Of course, implementing feedback loops isn't without its challenges. One common pitfall is ignoring feedback. It's easy to fall into the trap of collecting data but not really engaging with it. The solution is to commit to regular review sessions. Make these sessions a non-negotiable part of your routine, treating them with the same importance as any other crucial task. Another potential issue is misinterpreting data. Our personal biases can sometimes lead us to draw incorrect conclusions from the feedback we receive. To counter this, consider seeking external perspectives. Share your data and reflections with a trusted friend, mentor, or coach. Their outside viewpoint can provide valuable insights and help you see patterns you might have missed. As we conclude this chapter on feedback loops, take a moment to reflect on the power of this principle. Consider how implementing a system of continuous self-assessment and adjustment could transform your personal growth journey. The path of Kaizen is not about perfect execution from the start, but about constant refinement and improvement based on real-world feedback. As you move forward, you might be wondering about the obstacles you'll face on this journey. How can you overcome the resistance that inevitably arises when pursuing personal growth? The answer lies in our next principle, a concept that will add a new dimension to your Kaizen journey. But for now, embrace the power of feedback loops. Start observing, reflecting, and adjusting, and watch as your path to improvement becomes clearer and more defined with each passing day. Chapter 5: Breaking Barriers. Have you ever felt like you're running into an invisible wall? You're making progress on your personal growth journey, implementing the Kaizen principles we've discussed, and then suddenly, everything seems to grind to a halt. You're not alone. This experience is so common that it deserves its own chapter in our exploration of Kaizen, breaking barriers. But what exactly are these barriers, and why do they seem to pop up just when we're starting to make real progress? To understand this, we need to delve into the nature of change itself. Change, even positive change, is inherently challenging. Our brains are wired to prefer the familiar, the comfortable. It's a survival mechanism that served us well in our evolutionary past, but in our quest for personal growth, it can become a significant obstacle. These barriers can take many forms. Some are internal, mental blocks that hold us back. Others are external, challenges in our environment or circumstances that seem to impede our progress. Regardless of their nature, these obstacles share one thing in common. They stand between us and our goals. But here's the thing about barriers. They're not insurmountable. In fact, they're often opportunities in disguise. This is where the power of Kaizen truly shines. By applying the principles of continuous incremental improvement to these obstacles, we can not only overcome them, but use them as stepping stones for further growth. So why is breaking barriers so important for continuous personal growth and improvement? The answer is twofold. First, it removes obstacles to progress. Think about it. If you're constantly running into walls, your forward momentum will eventually grind to a halt. By learning to identify and overcome these barriers, you clear the path for continued growth. But there's more to it than that. Breaking barriers also transforms challenges into growth opportunities. Each obstacle you overcome teaches you something new about yourself, your capabilities, and your resilience. It's through facing and conquering these challenges that we experience some of our most significant personal growth. The first step in breaking barriers is identifying them. This might seem obvious, but it's surprising how often we overlook or misidentify the real obstacles in our path. Sometimes, what we perceive as an external barrier is actually an internal mental block. Other times, we might be so focused on one obvious challenge that we miss other, less apparent obstacles. To truly identify the barriers to your growth, you need to engage in honest self-reflection. What thoughts or beliefs do you hold that might be holding you back? Are there patterns of behavior that consistently derail your progress? What external factors seem to consistently get in your way? As you engage in this process of identification, you might notice areas of resistance. These are the spots where you feel pushback, either from your own mind or from external sources. Pay attention to these areas of resistance. They often point to the most significant barriers to your growth. Once you've identified your barriers, it's time to apply Kaizen tools to overcome them. This is where the magic happens. Instead of trying to demolish these obstacles in one fell swoop, which rarely works and often leads to frustration, we apply the principle of incremental change. Let's say you've identified a mental block, perhaps a belief that you're not good enough to achieve your goals. The Kaizen approach wouldn't be to try and completely eradicate this belief overnight. Instead, you might start by challenging this thought once a day. Each time you notice the not good enough thought, you counter it with evidence of your capabilities and worth. For external challenges, the same principle applies. Break the problem down into smaller, more manageable parts. Then, tackle each part one at a time. This approach not only makes the overall challenge less daunting, but also provides you with a series of small wins that boost your confidence and motivation. One powerful Kaizen tool for overcoming setbacks is the problem-solving cycle. This involves identifying the problem, analyzing its causes, generating potential solutions, implementing the most promising solution, and then evaluating the results. By applying this cycle to your barriers, you transform the process of overcoming obstacles into a structured, manageable task. Another key aspect of the Kaizen approach to breaking barriers is reframing. This involves changing how you view obstacles. Instead of seeing them as insurmountable roadblocks, try viewing them as challenges to be solved or opportunities for growth. This shift in perspective can dramatically change how you approach and overcome barriers. To put these concepts into practice, try this exercise. Make a list of the current obstacles you're facing in your personal growth journey. Be honest and thorough. Include both internal barriers, like self-doubt or procrastination, and external challenges, like lack of time or resources. Once you have your list, choose one barrier to focus on this week. Develop a plan to address this barrier using the Kaizen principles we've discussed. Remember to break it down into small, manageable steps. What's one tiny action you can take each day to chip away at this obstacle? As you implement this plan, pay attention to your progress. Are you noticing any changes, however small? How do you feel as you tackle this barrier bit by bit? This awareness is crucial. It helps you recognize your progress and adjust your approach as needed. Now, you might be wondering about the potential outcomes of this barrier-breaking process. While everyone's journey is unique, we can broadly categorize the possible results into good, excellent, and best scenarios. In a good outcome, you'll likely experience reduced resistance to change. As you practice identifying and overcoming barriers, you'll become more comfortable with the process of change itself. This increased comfort can make future growth endeavors feel less daunting. An excellent outcome might involve enhanced problem-solving skills. The process of breaking barriers is essentially an exercise in problem-solving. As you practice these skills in the context of personal growth, you'll likely find them improving in other areas of your life as well. The best possible outcome? The ability to navigate challenges with ease. Imagine facing obstacles not with dread, but with confidence and even excitement. This is the ultimate goal of breaking barriers, to reach a point where challenges become opportunities for growth rather than roadblocks to progress. Of course, the process of breaking barriers isn't without its potential pitfalls. One common issue is feeling overwhelmed by the sheer number or size of the obstacles you face. If you find yourself in this situation, remember the core principle of Kaizen: small, incremental changes. Break down your challenges into smaller parts. Focus on one tiny aspect at a time. Remember, even the largest barrier can be overcome with consistent, small efforts. Another potential problem is implementing ineffective solutions. You might find that your chosen approach isn't yielding the results you hoped for. If this happens, don't get discouraged. Instead, view it as an opportunity to experiment with different approaches. The key is to remain flexible and willing to adjust your strategies based on the feedback you receive. As we conclude this chapter on breaking barriers, take a moment to reflect on the obstacles in your own life. Consider how applying the Kaizen approach might help you overcome these challenges. Remember, the goal isn't to eliminate all barriers overnight, but to develop the skills and mindset to navigate them effectively over time. As you move forward, you might be wondering about the long-term sustainability of this approach. How can you ensure that the progress you make in breaking barriers lasts? The answer lies in our next principle, a concept that will add a new dimension to your Kaizen journey. But for now, embrace the process of breaking barriers. Start identifying your obstacles, developing incremental strategies to overcome them, and watch as your path to personal growth becomes clearer and more navigable with each passing day. Chapter 6: Sustaining Change. Have you ever felt like you're on a roller coaster of personal growth? One moment, you're soaring high, making progress and feeling invincible. The next, you're plummeting, struggling to maintain the changes you've worked so hard to implement. This ebb and flow is a common experience in the journey of self-improvement, but it doesn't have to be this way. Welcome to our exploration of a crucial aspect of the Kaizen philosophy: sustaining change. But what does it really mean to sustain change? It's more than just maintaining the status quo or clinging desperately to new habits. It's about creating a foundation for continuous, long-term growth that becomes as natural as breathing. It's about transforming temporary improvements into permanent fixtures of your life. Think of it like tending a garden. You can't just plant seeds, water them for a week, and expect a thriving garden forever after. Sustainable growth requires consistent care, attention, and nurturing. But here's the catch. It's not about working yourself to the bone. In fact, that approach often leads to the very problem we're trying to avoid: burnout. So why is sustaining change so crucial for continuous personal growth and improvement? The answer lies in two key factors: ensuring long-term success and preventing burnout and regression. When we talk about long-term success, we're looking beyond the immediate victories. It's great to achieve a goal or implement a new habit, but the real challenge and the real reward comes from maintaining that progress over time. Sustaining change is what transforms fleeting achievements into lasting transformations. On the flip side, preventing burnout and regression is equally important. How many times have you made progress towards a goal only to find yourself sliding back into old habits? This regression often comes from pushing too hard, too fast. By focusing on sustainability, we create a pace of growth that we can maintain indefinitely without burning out or falling back. One of the key principles in sustaining change is the balance between effort and rest. This might seem counterintuitive at first. After all, shouldn't we be pushing ourselves constantly if we want to improve? But here's the thing. Sustainable progress isn't about constant pushing. It's about finding the right rhythm of effort and recovery. Think of it like breathing. When you breathe in, you're taking in oxygen, fueling your body, but you can't inhale forever. You need to exhale, to release, to create space for the next breath. The same principle applies to personal growth. Periods of intense effort need to be balanced with periods of rest and reflection. This balance helps us avoid burnout, which is one of the biggest threats to sustained change. Burnout doesn't just slow our progress. It can undo the gains we've made and leave us feeling discouraged and unmotivated. By pacing ourselves for long-term success, we ensure that our journey of improvement is sustainable over the long haul. But how do we actually embed these improvements into our daily lives? This is where the power of habit formation comes into play. The goal is to reinforce positive changes until they become habitual, until they're so ingrained in our routine that we do them without conscious effort. This process of habit formation is grounded in reinforcement theory. Each time we perform a positive action, we're reinforcing the neural pathways associated with that behavior. Over time, these pathways become stronger, making the behavior more automatic. The key is consistency. It's better to make a small change and stick with it every day than to make a big change that you can't sustain. This is the essence of making Kaizen a natural part of your lifestyle. It's not about dramatic transformations. It's about small, consistent improvements that add up over time. To put these concepts into practice, try this exercise. Take a look at your current routine and schedule regular rest periods. These don't have to be long. Even a few minutes of mindful breathing or quiet reflection can make a difference. The important thing is that these rest periods are non-negotiable, just as important as your periods of effort. Next, reflect on the sustainability of your current habits. Are there any areas where you feel you're pushing too hard? Are there habits that feel forced or unnatural? These are signs that you might need to adjust your approach to make it more sustainable. As you implement these strategies for sustaining change, you might wonder about the potential outcomes. While everyone's journey is unique, we can broadly categorize the possible results into good, excellent, and best scenarios. In a good outcome, you'll likely experience consistent progress without burnout. You'll find that you're able to maintain your improvements over time without feeling overwhelmed or exhausted. This steady progress, free from the extreme ups and downs, is a significant achievement in itself. An excellent outcome might involve deeply ingrained positive habits. You'll find that the changes you've been working on have become second nature. You no longer have to consciously remind yourself to perform these positive behaviors. They've become an integral part of who you are. The best possible outcome? A lifestyle of continuous improvement. Imagine waking up each day with a natural inclination towards growth and development. In this scenario, Kaizen isn't just something you do. It's a fundamental part of how you approach life. You're constantly looking for small ways to improve, not out of obligation, but because it's simply how you operate. Of course, the journey of sustaining change isn't without its potential pitfalls. One common issue is overexertion. In our enthusiasm to make progress, we might push ourselves too hard, neglecting the crucial balance between effort and rest. If you find yourself in this situation, the solution is to prioritize rest and recovery. Remember, rest isn't a luxury, it's a necessary component of sustainable growth. Another potential problem is loss of motivation. Over time, especially if progress seems slow, you might find your enthusiasm waning. If this happens, it's important to revisit your goals and achievements. Remind yourself why you started this journey in the first place. Reflect on how far you've come, even if the changes seem small. Often, this reflection can reignite your motivation and commitment to the process. As we conclude this chapter on sustaining change, take a moment to consider your own journey of personal growth. Are there areas where you've been pushing too hard? Are there changes you've made that you're struggling to maintain? Remember, the goal isn't perfection, it's progress. Sustainable, long-term progress. Implementing the strategies we've discussed, balancing effort and rest, embedding improvements into daily life, and regularly reflecting on your habits can transform your approach to personal growth. Instead of a series of intense sprints followed by periods of regression, you can create a steady, sustainable pace of improvement that lasts a lifetime. As you move forward, you might be wondering about the long-term impact of this approach. How can these small, sustained changes lead to significant transformations over time? The answer lies in our next principle, a concept that will reveal the true power of Kaizen in action. But for now, focus on sustaining change. Start balancing your efforts with intentional rest, embed your improvements into your daily routine, and watch as your journey of personal growth becomes not just a series of achievements, but a way of life. Chapter 7, Compounding Growth. Have you ever watched a snowball rolling down a hill? It starts small, almost insignificant, but as it rolls, it picks up more snow, growing larger and larger. By the time it reaches the bottom, that tiny snowball has transformed into something massive, powerful, and unstoppable. This is the essence of our next Kaizen principle, compounding growth. But what exactly is compounding growth, and why is it so crucial to our journey of personal development? To understand this, we need to shift our perspective on how progress happens. Often, we think of growth as a linear process. Put in X amount of effort, get Y amount of result. But the reality is far more exciting and powerful. Compounding growth is about understanding that each small improvement we make doesn't just add to our progress, it multiplies it. It's the secret sauce that turns consistent, seemingly minor actions into extraordinary results over time. It's what allows ordinary people to achieve extraordinary things, not through Herculean efforts, but through persistent incremental improvements. So why is compounding growth so important for continuous personal growth and improvement? The answer lies in two key factors: maximizing the impact of our efforts and facilitating exponential personal development. When we harness the power of compounding growth, we're not just making progress, we're maximizing the impact of every action we take. Each small improvement builds on the last, creating a foundation for even greater improvements in the future. It's like investing money and earning interest not just on your initial investment, but on the interest you've already earned. Over time, this compound effect can lead to results that far exceed what you might expect from your individual efforts. Moreover, compounding growth facilitates exponential personal development. Instead of improving at a steady linear rate, you have the potential to grow faster and faster over time. This acceleration of growth can lead to transformative changes that might have seemed impossible when you first started your journey. To truly understand the power of compounding growth, we need to delve into the exponential nature of small actions over time. At first glance, small improvements might not seem significant. Improving by just 1% doesn't sound like much, does it? But here's where the magic happens. That 1% improvement, compounded daily over a year, results in you being 37 times better than when you started. That's the power of exponential growth. This compound effect works because each incremental gain you make doesn't exist in isolation. It builds upon all the gains you've made before. If you improve your skills by 1% today, tomorrow you're not just improving on your original baseline, you're improving on your already improved self. This creates a snowball effect where your rate of improvement accelerates over time. Understanding this principle can be truly transformative. It shifts our focus from seeking massive, overnight changes to appreciating and cultivating small, consistent improvements. It teaches us that those tiny actions we take each day, the ones that might seem insignificant in the moment, are actually the building blocks of major, long-term results. But how do we actually amplify our progress using this principle? The key lies in leveraging past improvements for future success. Each skill you develop, each habit you form, each bit of knowledge you acquire becomes a stepping stone for further growth. For instance, let's say you've been working on improving your time management skills. As you get better at managing your time, you'll likely find that you have more energy and focus throughout the day. This improvement doesn't just benefit your time management, it can be leveraged to enhance your performance in other areas of your life, from your work to your hobbies to your relationships. Building momentum through consistent effort is another crucial aspect of amplifying your progress. Momentum in personal growth works much like momentum in physics. An object in motion tends to stay in motion. Each small action you take creates forward momentum, making it easier to take the next action and the next and the next. This is where the compound effect really shines. As you build momentum, you'll likely find that growth becomes easier and more natural. The efforts that once felt challenging start to feel routine. This frees up your energy and willpower to tackle even greater challenges, further accelerating your growth. To put these concepts into practice, try this exercise. Identify areas in your life where you can apply compounding growth. These could be skills you want to develop, habits you want to form, or knowledge areas you want to expand. Remember, the key is to focus on areas where small, consistent improvements can accumulate over time. Once you've identified these areas, commit to tracking your progress over an extended period. This could be 30 days, 90 days, or even a full year. The important thing is to choose a time frame that allows you to see the compound effect in action. Each day, make a small improvement in your chosen areas and record your progress. As you implement these strategies for compounding growth, you might wonder about the potential outcomes. While everyone's journey is unique, we can broadly categorize the possible results into good, excellent, and best scenarios. In a good outcome, you'll likely notice improvement in key areas of your life. These improvements might be subtle at first, but over time, they'll become increasingly apparent. You'll find yourself more skilled, more knowledgeable, or more effective than you were when you started. An excellent outcome might involve significant advancements in your personal goals. The compound effect of your efforts will start to yield results that surprise and delight you. You might find yourself achieving objectives that once seemed out of reach, all through the power of consistent, incremental improvement. The best possible outcome? Nothing short of transformation through exponential growth. In this scenario, the compound effect of your efforts leads to a fundamental shift in who you are and what you're capable of. You'll look back on where you started and be amazed at how far you've come, all through the accumulation of small, consistent actions. Of course, the journey of compounding growth isn't without its potential pitfalls. One common issue is impatience with results. In the early stages, progress might seem slow or even imperceptible. It's easy to get discouraged and give up before the compound effect really kicks in. If you find yourself in this situation, the solution is to focus on your long-term vision. Remember, you're playing the long game. Trust in the process and keep making those small improvements, knowing that they're building towards something greater. Another potential problem is plateauing. After a period of growth, you might find your progress slowing or stalling. This is a natural part of any growth journey, but it can be frustrating. If this happens, it's time to introduce new strategies for growth. This might involve learning new skills, seeking out new challenges, or approaching your goals from a different angle. The key is to keep pushing your boundaries and finding new ways to improve. As we conclude this chapter on compounding growth, take a moment to reflect on your own journey of personal development. Are there areas in your life where you've experienced the compound effect? Are there areas where you could apply this principle to achieve even greater results? Remember, the power of compounding growth lies in its ability to turn small, consistent efforts into extraordinary results over time. It's not about making massive changes overnight, but about trusting in the process of incremental improvement. Each small step you take is building towards something greater, even if you can't see the full picture yet. As you move forward, you might be wondering how to fully integrate this principle of compounding growth into your life. How can you make it not just something you do, but a fundamental part of who you are? The answer lies in our next principle, a concept that will tie together everything we've discussed and reveal the true essence of the Kaizen philosophy. But for now, focus on harnessing the power of compounding growth. Start making those small, consistent improvements, track your progress over time, and prepare to be amazed by the exponential results that await you. Chapter 8, Mastering Kaizen. Have you ever wondered what separates those who achieve lasting success and fulfillment from those who seem to be constantly chasing after the next big thing? What if I told you that the secret lies not in some hidden talent or stroke of luck, but in a fundamental shift in how you approach life itself? Welcome to the pinnacle of our Kaizen journey, mastering Kaizen. But what does it truly mean to master Kaizen? Is it simply about perfecting the techniques we've discussed in previous chapters? While those skills are undoubtedly important, mastering Kaizen goes far beyond that. It's about something much more profound and transformative. To understand this, we need to shift our perspective. Up until now, we've been looking at Kaizen as a set of principles and practices. But at its core, Kaizen is more than just a method. It's a way of thinking, a lens through which we view the world and our place in it. Mastering Kaizen means fully integrating this mindset into every aspect of your life. Think about how you currently approach personal growth. Do you see it as something you do occasionally, when you have time, or when you're faced with a specific challenge? Or is it an integral part of how you live each day? The difference between these two approaches is the difference between using Kaizen and mastering it. So why is this mastery so crucial for continuous personal growth and improvement? The answer lies in two key factors. It encourages a holistic approach to growth and fosters a lifelong commitment to improvement. When we truly master Kaizen, we stop compartmentalizing our growth efforts. We no longer see personal development as something separate from our daily lives. Instead, we begin to view every experience, every interaction, every challenge as an opportunity for growth. This holistic approach means that we're constantly improving, not just in specific areas, but across all aspects of our lives. Moreover, mastering Kaizen fosters a lifelong commitment to improvement. It's not about reaching a specific goal and then stopping. It's about embracing the journey of growth itself, understanding that there's always room for improvement, always something new to learn or a skill to refine. This commitment transforms personal growth from a sporadic activity into a lifelong pursuit. But how do we actually adopt this Kaizen mindset? It starts with embracing continuous improvement in all areas of your life. This doesn't mean you need to be actively working on everything all at once. Rather, it's about cultivating an awareness of potential improvements in every situation. For instance, when you're at work, you might look for ways to streamline your processes or enhance your skills. In your relationships, you might focus on becoming a better listener or communicator. Even in your leisure activities, you can seek ways to deepen your enjoyment or challenge yourself in new ways. This approach requires a fundamental shift in how you view life itself. Instead of seeing life as a series of discrete events or achievements, you begin to see it as an ongoing opportunity for growth. Every day becomes a chance to learn, to improve, to become a slightly better version of yourself than you were yesterday. This perspective transforms Kaizen from a set of practices into a lifelong pursuit. It's about committing to the journey of mastery, understanding that true mastery is not a destination, but an ongoing process. It's about constantly pushing your boundaries, challenging your assumptions and seeking new ways to grow and improve. As you integrate Kaizen principles into your identity, you'll find that they become an inseparable part of who you are. You'll no longer have to consciously think about applying Kaizen techniques. They'll become your default way of approaching life. This integration is where the true power of Kaizen reveals itself. To put these concepts into practice, try this exercise. Take some time to reflect on areas for holistic improvement in your life. Look beyond the obvious areas like work or health. Consider your relationships, your hobbies, your spiritual life, your community involvement. For each area, ask yourself, how could I apply Kaizen principles here? What small incremental improvements could I make? Next, set some long-term Kaizen goals. These aren't typical goals with specific endpoints. Instead, they're ongoing commitments to growth in various areas of your life. For example, you might set a goal to continuously improve your communication skills or to deepen your understanding of a subject that interests you. As you implement these strategies for mastering Kaizen, you might wonder about the potential outcomes. While everyone's journey is unique, we can broadly categorize the possible results into good, excellent, and best scenarios. In a good outcome, you'll likely experience consistent personal development. You'll find yourself regularly improving in various areas of your life, steadily becoming a more skilled, knowledgeable, and well-rounded individual. An excellent outcome might involve truly mastering the Kaizen mindset. In this scenario, continuous improvement becomes second nature to you. You automatically seek out opportunities for growth in every situation, and you're able to apply Kaizen principles effortlessly across all areas of your life. The best possible outcome? A deeply fulfilling life of continuous growth. In this scenario, you not only master the Kaizen mindset, but find profound satisfaction in the process of ongoing improvement. You wake up each day excited about the opportunities for growth that lie ahead. Your life becomes a thrilling journey of constant discovery and self-actualization. Of course, the journey of mastering Kaizen isn't without its potential pitfalls. One common issue is resistance to full integration. Even when we intellectually understand the benefits of the Kaizen mindset, we might find ourselves resisting its application in certain areas of our lives. If you encounter this resistance, the solution is to start small. Begin by applying Kaizen principles to one small aspect of your life. As you see the benefits, you'll naturally want to expand this approach to other areas. Another potential problem is a lack of direction. With so many possibilities for improvement, you might feel overwhelmed or unsure where to focus your efforts. The key here is to regularly revisit and adjust your goals. Take time periodically to reflect on your progress and reassess your priorities. This ongoing process of reflection and adjustment is itself a crucial aspect of the Kaizen mindset. As we conclude this chapter on mastering Kaizen, take a moment to reflect on your own journey. How has your understanding of Kaizen evolved since you began reading this book? Can you see opportunities to more fully integrate the Kaizen mindset into your life? Remember, mastering Kaizen isn't about perfection. It's about embracing a lifelong journey of growth and improvement. It's about finding joy and fulfillment in the process of becoming, rather than in reaching a specific destination. By adopting the Kaizen mindset, you're not just changing what you do, you're changing who you are. You're becoming someone who sees every day as an opportunity to learn, to grow, to become a slightly better version of yourself. You're embracing a life of continuous improvement and endless potential. As you move forward, you might be wondering about the ultimate destination of this Kaizen journey. Where does this path of continuous improvement lead? What lies beyond mastery? The answer to these questions awaits in our final chapter, where we'll explore the true essence of Kaizen and its limitless implications for your life. But for now, focus on integrating the Kaizen mindset into every aspect of your existence. Embrace the journey of mastery, set your long-term growth goals, and prepare yourself for a life transformed by the power of continuous improvement. Chapter 9, Endless Potential. As we reach the final chapter of our Kaizen journey, you might be tempted to think of this as an ending. But in truth, we're standing at the threshold of something far more exciting, a beginning. Welcome to the world of endless potential. Throughout this book, we've explored the various facets of Kaizen, from starting small to breaking barriers, from sustaining change to compounding growth. We've delved into the mindset that transforms Kaizen from a set of practices into a way of life. But now, as we stand at this juncture, it's time to look beyond, to the vast, uncharted territory of your potential. Kaizen, at its core, is not a destination. It's not a finish line you cross or a summit you reach. It's a journey, an ongoing, ever-evolving process of growth and improvement that spans a lifetime. And that's where the true magic lies. Think about it for a moment. How often in life do we chase after specific goals, believing that once we achieve them, we'll finally be content? Yet when we reach those milestones, we often find ourselves asking, what's next? This constant seeking is not a flaw. It's a fundamental aspect of human nature. We are wired for growth, for progress, for becoming more than we are. Kaizen embraces this inherent human drive and channels it into a sustainable, lifelong journey of improvement. It acknowledges that there is no final form of ourselves, no ultimate state of perfection to achieve. Instead, it offers us the exhilarating prospect of continuous evolution, of always becoming a better version of ourselves. So, how can what you've learned in this book empower you? The answer lies in the profound shift in perspective that Kaizen offers. You're no longer at the mercy of dramatic, unsustainable changes or fleeting bursts of motivation. Instead, you're equipped with a methodology for consistent, incremental improvement that can be applied to any area of your life, at any time. This empowerment comes from the realization that you don't need to make massive leaps to see significant changes in your life. The power of small, consistent actions, the cornerstone of Kaizen, means that you can start making progress right now, no matter where you are or what resources you have at your disposal. Moreover, as you've learned to embrace the Kaizen mindset, you've developed a newfound confidence in your personal growth capabilities. You understand that growth is not about innate talent or luck, but about consistent effort and smart strategies. This confidence is a powerful force, one that can propel you forward even in the face of challenges or setbacks. But the impact of Kaizen extends far beyond personal achievement. One of the most profound ways it can transform your life is through its effect on your relationships. As you apply the principles of continuous improvement to how you interact with others, you'll likely find your communication skills enhancing almost automatically. Think about it. By applying the principle of small incremental improvements to your interactions, you can gradually become a better listener, a more empathetic friend, a more supportive partner. You might find yourself picking up on subtle cues you previously missed or expressing yourself more clearly and effectively. Furthermore, the Kaizen mindset fosters greater empathy and understanding. As you become more aware of your own growth process, you naturally become more patient and understanding of others' journeys. You recognize that everyone is on their own path of improvement, facing their own challenges and celebrating their own small victories. This enhanced empathy can transform your relationships, both personal and professional. It can help you build stronger connections, resolve conflicts more effectively, and create a more positive, supportive environment in all areas of your life. Now, let's consider what you'll be able to achieve with this newfound knowledge and mindset. The limitations that once held you back, whether they were self-imposed beliefs, lack of confidence, or simply not knowing how to approach big challenges, can now be systematically overcome. Remember, Kaizen is about breaking down big goals into small, manageable steps. This means that those long-term personal goals that once seemed out of reach are now achievable through consistent, incremental progress. Whether it's mastering a new skill, advancing in your career, or personal growth in any area, you now have a roadmap for getting there. But perhaps the most exciting aspect of embracing Kaizen is how it allows you to improve your results with less and less effort over time. This might sound counterintuitive, but it's a natural outcome of the Kaizen process. As you consistently apply the principles you've learned, you'll find your efficiency in personal development increasing. The habits of continuous improvement become more ingrained, requiring less conscious effort. The feedback loops you've established become more refined, allowing you to make adjustments more quickly and effectively. Moreover, you'll likely find that achieving growth milestones becomes easier over time. This is partly due to the compound effect we discussed earlier. Each small improvement builds on the last, creating exponential growth. But it's also because you become more skilled at the process of improvement itself. You learn to identify opportunities for growth more readily, to implement changes more effectively, and to overcome obstacles more easily. As we conclude this journey through the world of Kaizen, I want to leave you with a powerful truth. Your potential is truly endless. The path of Kaizen doesn't lead to a final destination. It opens up a world of infinite possibilities. Every small step you take, every incremental improvement you make, is not just a move towards a specific goal. It's an expansion of what's possible for you. Each time you apply the principles of Kaizen, you're not just improving a skill or achieving an objective, you're expanding the boundaries of your potential. This is the ultimate gift of Kaizen, the recognition that you are capable of continuous growth, that there is no limit to what you can become. It's the understanding that every day presents new opportunities for improvement, for learning, for becoming more than you were yesterday. As you close this book and step back into your daily life, carry this knowledge with you. Let it infuse every aspect of your existence. Look for opportunities for small improvements everywhere. Celebrate your progress, no matter how minor it might seem. Embrace the journey of continuous growth with enthusiasm and joy. Remember, the path of Kaizen is not about reaching a final state of perfection. It's about falling in love with the process of becoming. It's about waking up each day excited about the possibilities for growth and improvement that lie ahead. It's about living a life of constant evolution, of endless potential. You've taken the first steps on this incredible journey. You've equipped yourself with the tools and mindset to embrace continuous improvement. Now the world of endless potential lies before you. Every day is a new opportunity to grow, to learn, to become more. So, what will you improve today? What small step will you take towards becoming the best version of yourself? The journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step, and your journey of endless potential begins now. Embrace it, enjoy it, and watch in amazement as you unlock capabilities and achievements you never thought possible. Your potential is limitless, your growth is endless, and your journey, it's just beginning. As you embrace this new life of continuous improvement and Kaizen mastery, you'll find yourself facing challenges with newfound confidence and clarity. But to truly maximize the power of Kaizen in your life, you'll need to sharpen another crucial skill. It's a skill that complements and enhances everything you've learned, allowing you to navigate complex decisions and solve problems with remarkable efficiency. Curious about what this game-changing skill might be? The answer lies in developing critical thinking habits, a topic we explore in depth in the audiobook Think Sharp, Developing Critical Thinking Habits. This essential companion to your Kaizen journey will empower you to make the most of every improvement opportunity, ensuring that your path of endless potential is guided by razor-sharp reasoning and insightful analysis. Tap the center of the video now to continue your transformation journey.